Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. There's a lot of things to cover. I'm gonna mainly focus on his Street Fighter V version. Technically Alex has been in the whole Street Fighter 3 saga, Tatsunoko vs Capcom, and obviously Capcom Fighting Jam. And he's been a little bit different in every single version besides obviously Street Fighter V. There are two things that I need to mention immediately, the elephants in the room. Is Alex a grappler? And that question has a very complicated answer. What do you call a grappler? Because Alex has a command grab, the headbutt is also a grab, and he also with trigger has another grab that only hits standards. Is that enough to call him a grappler? And I don't think so, because technically if you land something like this, sure you're gonna be close to them and you're gonna be +5, but you'll see that this +5 is good, but it's not crazy. As for this one, Yoroki is fantastic, +12 and you're closer, but you'll see that technically I cannot grab the opponent with a regular grab, which would be a very Street Fighter 6 thing to do. I do have my command grab though, but my command grab again doesn't give me the best Oki. So technically his command grab game is not insane. It is there to break the opponent, but the most you're gonna do with Alex is poke and do combos, which is not necessarily a grappler thing to do. That is his main thing, so I wouldn't call him a proper grappler. He has a command grab, but he's a more mobile kind of grappler. He has more in line with big bodies. He's a fast big body in a way, or a brawler as some people call him, but he's not technically a full grappler. And this is a question that I've been receiving since forever. Is Alex a good character? And that is another question with a very complicated answer. Technically during the entirety of the Street Fighter 3 series, he was either okay or low tier. Depending on how you look at it, he might be even in Third Strike super low, like bottom 3, or he can be decent somewhat character, but super mid tier, low mid tier. In Street Fighter 5, in the first season, he was okay, mid-tier. Then they started playing with him, nerfing some things, and then they went crazy in the last season. He's probably one of the best characters in the game, top 3. And in other games like Capcom Fighting Jam, he's okay. In Tatsunoko vs Capcom, he's actually pretty good. I do have to say that. He's very good in Tatsunoko. But that's it. He has a weird history of rebalancing, balancing, changes. So it's very hard for me to just answer you properly. I think he's gonna be good. Just taking into consideration how he plays, it would be weird for him to be bad in Street Fighter 6. I think he has 3 main things, and those things are very important for Alex. One is range, mobility is the second one, and the third one is stun damage. I know, don't worry, I'm gonna talk about stun at the end of this video. He has a lot of really long pokes. You have a standing light kick in this game, 5 frames, 7 frames with crouching medium punch, 9 frames with crouching medium kick. This is 0 on block, -1 on block, and -3. So all of them are pretty freaking good. You also have a sweep at 10 frames, -12 in this game. Sweeps are punishable. Almost everyone in the cast can just sweep your sweep. Standing heavy kick is a little bit wild at 17 frames. And obviously lariat, which is actually, this is pretty funny. It is exactly the same as headbutt in Street Fighter 6, Zangief headbutt. You'll see that this is +4 on block, and funny enough, +8 on hit. This and also forces standing in this game, which is important because some of his combos require you to be standing, especially for Trigger 2, honestly. Everything else is fine. Trigger 2 requires standards. Now let's try to theory craft a little bit here. I don't think this is gonna be 11 frames. It would make sense for this to be 14 frames considering how similar it is to Zangief headbutt. I don't think this is gonna be 17. If they make this a 17 framer, it will probably be like Bison standing heavy punch. In this game, this is actually a crush counter starter. They're gonna make it either faster or slower, but plus. Either +1, +2, I wouldn't be surprised. The sweep obviously is gonna get nerfed. There's no way he's gonna have a 10 frame sweep. I'm only mentioning a few of them. Obviously you have a standing medium kick too, or standing medium punch. These two are Alex staple moves. They have been with Alex since forever. So this move would definitely be in the game, but I don't think it's gonna be 7 frames. Probably they're gonna slow this down to either 8 or 9 frames. Same with this thing. Probably standing light kick will be his 5 framer, and it will work similarly to Zangief or Lena or other characters with a 5 framer. If they make it like Ryu in Street Fighter 6, this button is gonna be goated. And he has a lot of range, and this button is cancelable into specials. Alex is a very, very mobile character. First of all, slash elbow. The light version of slash elbow is safe on block. There we go, at -2. And you can space this, by the way. There you go, to be 0, so it is fantastic, to be honest. So if you're in a position where you need to close the gap, you can be like this, is holding the charge, and then boom, just go for it. And these combos very easily from other buttons like standing medium punch. You can get very easy combos like this. MB +3, very close to the opponent. The EX version of the elbow is even faster. This is 16 frames. The EX version of the elbow, if you're close, 14 frames. Super fast. So you're basically teleporting. And you have armor from frame 3 to frame 14, at least for the close version. He has a far version, which is way slower at 22 frames. And the armor is the same from frame 3, so you do have armor here. It is more common in Third Strike because the elbow is really strong there too, but that's not the only one. You have Air Stampede, a move that has Fireball invulnerability. You can control how much Alex moves. You'll see that I can technically go boom, almost full screen. And the funny thing about the EX version, which is the version you use the most in this game, is that this is +2 on block. Wait, I have no meter, sorry. Which is very similar to what Bison is currently doing in Street Fighter 6 with the EX stomp. And talking about mobility, of course, I need to talk about the Head Crush, which is an adaptation of his super, I believe his super R3 in Third Strike, the stun gun headbutt. This is the Head Crush, and this is the EX version is 30 frames and tracks. I'm not pressing anything, and I track the opponent, and I'm gonna be +5. The Alex player is doing this. You need to be very careful because he might be charging the Air Stampede, the Head Crush, which can be avoided by buttons in this game, but you have to react super fast. Most commonly, people neutral jump or try to backdash because this has no anti-air, no anti-air hitbox, and this one is a grab. Usually, when people think Alex is going for either one of those two moves, they're gonna neutral jump. Of course, if they neutral jump, you have this answer. And he has a DP kinda. He has Air Knee Smash, EX, which is the most common one. It's 6 frames. Invulnerable to air attacks from frames 1 through 13. Can move through projectiles from frames 5 through 13. If you are crouching though, he will miss. You can re-stand opponents like this, so it's not that bad. You see them in the air, you go for this. The EX is the most common one, but you'll see the light version of the medium version sometimes. But the range is kind of strange for these two. Now, how they're gonna translate all of these moves? I think the move that is gonna be removed from his regular toolkit in Street Fighter 5 is the Head Crush. He's going back to being a regular super. I don't think they want Alex players to have elbow, Air Stampede, and a command grab. But if they do, they need to modify a lot of the things that make this move useful. I don't know if this is gonna have armor, that's the first thing. Because if he has armor, he's gonna fight the Fireball War way too easily. The Air Stampede already goes through Fireballs, and it's a pretty easy way to react to Fireballs. So that's another thing. So how they're gonna modify those two, I don't know. EX Air Knee is gonna be just as it is in Street Fighter 5. His technically it's not a DP, but it works as one if people are jumping. So they're gonna probably leave this as is. Alex has this as an anti-air. So in combination with these two, you can really fight almost every single jump in the game. Even though it doesn't look like it, he has really good air-to-air normals. You have a grappler that doesn't have the best anti-airs like Zangief, but plays the neutral very well and has a really functional command grab. And you have another grappler like Manon with really good anti-airs, but everything else sucks. This probably is gonna be the best of both worlds. How do we talk about stun? This is gonna be a little bit difficult. Street Fighter 6 doesn't have stun, but in Street Fighter 5 and other games, he had a really high stun potential. He also deals a lot of damage. I haven't talked about damage technically because it is pretty common in Street Fighter 6 to have high damage. It's not that weird. All the standing heavies in this game usually do 150 points of stun. However, Alex is particularly strong in this sense because he has the Head Crush. The regular version is 250 points of stun, while the EX is 300. The Air Stampede, 200. Elbow, EX, 200. EX Chop, 200. Things like DDT, 250. Boom. The regular Sledgehammer is 150. And if you hold it, 200. And of course, you can go into this. Everything I've been mentioning right now in terms of stun, usually combos. So you have situations where you can go for something like this. And that is insane stun. You can increase that even more. 423. This has been his thing since forever. Even in Street Fighter 3, he has some really high stun things. What are they gonna do with all of these properties? How are they gonna translate this into a game that has no way of stunning the opponent besides being in Burnout and DI? And I think this is where Capcom needs to be very creative. Most people expect Alex to do a lot of drive damage. That would make him a very special character, even though there are some characters like Zangief even that can really destroy the opponent's drive meter. This guy could do it on hit, and that would be a huge point in favor of Alex, and that would make him a more unique kind of character in the Street Fighter 6 universe. Alex has a lot of different and weird properties in Street Fighter 5. Chop destroys fireballs. He has something called the hard hit, and this is for V skill 1, because you have counter hits, you have crush counters, but Alex has this, and you'll see that I have the label of hard hit whenever I hit the opponent. This adds 5 frames to whatever button I'm pressing on hit. The interesting thing is that if I don't have any kind of meter, this recovers V meter. And that is already pretty special in this game. Characters don't usually just recover V meter just by doing something. They usually have to hit the opponent with something or get hit. And if your button is a crush counter button, you don't need the recovery frames. You just boom, do it, and you get the crush counter. So it's a very wild thing that Alex has in this game. This could lead to some insane combos. Skill 2 is even more insane because you can cancel specials into specials. That is just, I don't know if this is gonna be a thing. If they somehow add this, I wanna have a combination of emotions like surprised, shocked, excited, because this will be just insane. If you have the V skill 2 on, you can do specials into specials. Like this, and they combo. And Alex has a lot of wild stuff with this thing, because if somebody's blocking, let's say they're blocking this, you can go into the EX version of a special after a regular one, but if you start with an EX version, you need to go into another EX version. That's the limit of this thing. And that is really hard to react. Look at that. I'm not gonna talk about parry. Technically, if you hold or you press the sledgehammer here, those frames are a parry, and the parry has a start of 2 frames. Street Fighter 6 has parry, so there's nothing to say about parry. But what about this? The sledgehammer. The sledgehammer can combo. You'll see this combos from standing medium punch. If you combine this with B skill 1, you can do insane stuff. I don't think a sledgehammer is gonna be in the game, unless they make it like command normal. The other thing is that Alex has more health and stun than the regular character. He has 1050 health and 1075 stun. This super is 5 frames. Probably level 3 is gonna be 5 frames, but level 1, level 2, if they want to go for the Street Fighter 6 regular route, super level 1 will be the wake up kind of super, 10 frames maybe. Super level 2 will be a little bit slower with anti-fireball properties, and super level 3 is gonna be the big super. He has a 19 frame forward dash. For a big body, this is really fast, because Zangief has a 25 frame dash in this game. Mika is 18, Sagat is 20, or G is 19. A lot of things are happening with this character. So he's a very mobile, very interesting type of character. I'm just very excited that he's back in the game. That's all I have for today. Go to the Siberian Lab on Twitch. I stream different games sometimes. Obviously a lot of Street Fighter and grapplers. Take care of yourselves, hydrate. If you really like this video, please subscribe. And I'm gonna be seeing you in the next one. Bye bye. If you are here, if you're still here, let me know in the comments. There's one thing that obviously everyone wants to know. He didn't mention the command grab. What's going on with that thing? The command grab in Street Fighter 5 is super unique. Light version of the command grab is 9 frames. Every other version without the EX is 6 frames. Why this move is 9 frames? Are you insane? 9 frames? Alex is usually very plus, especially on hit in this game. And the light version has insane range. The command grab itself doesn't deal that much damage, nor the Oki is that good. So he's only gonna use the command grab in certain specific situations. As for the medium one, you need to be a little bit closer. And the heavy one, you'll see that I'm whiffing here. You need to be a little bit closer for those. One attack is enough. The most important thing about Alex, or one of the most important things, is the stun damage. The light version of the command grab is 170, 200 stun, 180, 230 stun, 190, 250 stun, that was the heavy version, and the EX is 230, 250. So at the end of the day, you want to do the heavy or the EX if you're super close, if not, light. And all this is in favor of the stun. The power drop is a little bit weak, 120 for all the regular versions and 200 stun, and 180 for the EX 250 stun. I didn't mention this before, but Lariat does everything in this game. Cancelable, anti-air, hits cross-ups even, crush counter, plus frames. If you do something like this and you get the Lariat, that is 485 stun. And in the last version of Street Fighter V, the EX power drop, the backdrop, has Oki. Look at my Oki. I'm plus 23, but remember that Alex has a 19 frame forward dash. I'm plus 4. I didn't actually mention that much in the video because I don't know how Oki is gonna be translated in Street Fighter 6, but at least in 5 he has Oki after almost everything. What are they gonna do with the command grab? Manon is the closest to Alex in that way, quote unquote, because she has a slow version, a medium version, a heavy version. All of them have different speeds and ranges. Maybe they can go that route, but if they do, how are they gonna fix the power drop? Is the power drop gonna be like Russian suplex? What about the corner carry? With elbow, EX elbow specifically, and also EX DP, the knee smash, he has a lot of corner carry. There's a lot of really interesting questions that we can just debate for hours, because Alex, at the end of the day, is a very special kind of character. He's not your typical grappler. He has a lot of things going on, a lot of tools for almost everything he requires. And this is funny because if you consider how Zangief is in Street Fighter 6 and how he's been in other Street Fighters, you can more or less say that Zangief usually gets nerfed. Well, in the case of Alex, in the last version of the game, he got destroyed. He's basically a monster. The closest Alex they have to more or less have a draft of what Alex could be in Street Fighter 6 is one of the best characters in the game. I want one thing from specifically Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. He has like a borscht, but this version, the power bomb, can be done in the air. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I would be surprised if they don't add it, because this has been in Alex arsenal. Even in games like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Infinite Jogo, I don't know, in this game you can be very creative with this thing. You can do it in the air after certain combos. Like this. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Bye bye.